So, what if I told you the key to unlocking your true potential isn't about working harder? What if it's about changing the entire way you ask for what you want? Let's get into it.
Let me just ask you this. Do you ever have that feeling? The one where you're putting in all the hours, you're doing everything right, but you're just not seeing the results you feel like you've earned? Well, it's a super common frustration, and it turns out there might be a very specific reason why it happens.
And that reason, honestly, is captured perfectly in this one single idea. Most people go to the ocean of success with a teaspoon. Just let that sink in for a second. There's this massive, endless ocean of opportunity out there, and most of us are showing up with a tiny little spoon. This metaphor, it's the key to everything we're about to talk about.
Okay, so let's start by figuring out what's going on. We're going to talk about the problem, which is your tiny teaspoon.
First things first, let's be really clear. The ocean is not the problem. Just picture it, this vast, endless ocean of success. It is just full of everything you could possibly want. Promotions, big opportunities, huge achievements. It's all out there, and it's available to literally everyone. The potential is limitless.
So, if the ocean is overflowing with opportunity, then what's the teaspoon? Well, it's not about how hard you work. It's a mindset. It's this deep-seated belief that just being a good worker is enough. You do your job, you do it well, and you just wait. You wait for someone to notice you, hoping they'll eventually give you what you deserve.
And this comparison just lays it all out perfectly. Over on the left, you've got the good worker with their teaspoon. It's totally passive, right? They're waiting, they're hoping, they're just taking whatever is handed to them. But then, on the right, you have the good asker with a bucket, and they are completely proactive. They don't just wait for recognition, they go out and create it. They don't just hope for opportunities, they actively seek them out. And here's the kicker, they ask for what they want.
So, how do we actually fix this? Well, the solution is surprisingly simple, but it is profound. It's time to trade in that teaspoon for a bucket.
And this is so important. The answer isn't to just work even harder to scoop faster and more frantically with that same little teaspoon. That's just a recipe for burnout, and you still get the same tiny results. The real solution is to completely change your tool, to get a whole new strategy. And that new tool? That's the bucket mindset. This is the active belief that you absolutely must ask for what you want. It's a massive shift from waiting for things to happen to you to making things happen for you. You become the person who actually creates their own opportunities.
Which brings us to the absolute core idea of this whole thing. Your results are limited not by the size of the ocean, but by the size of your ask. Think about that. The limits we face aren't external, they're internal. The only thing that dictates how much you can get from that giant ocean of success is the size of the tool you decide to bring with you.
Okay, so you've decided to get a bucket. Awesome. But just holding the bucket isn't quite enough. You've got to know how to actually use it. So let's get into the how-to part with 2 specific ways to ask. The whole process really breaks down into 2 simple but really powerful parts. First, you need to ask with intelligence. That's kind of the what and how of your ask. And second, you have to ask with faith, and that's the why and the belief behind it. Let's break each one down.
So part 1 is all about asking with intelligence. Just think of this as the strategy of your ask. This is the practical, the logical, the well-thought-out foundation that makes your request actually make sense to everyone involved.
So what does that look like in real life? Well, it means you have to get crystal clear on what you actually want. It's not enough to say you want a promotion or more success. The single most important rule here is to be specific. What is the exact job title you want? What is the specific project you want to lead? What is the precise salary you're aiming for? The more specific you are, the more intelligent your ask becomes.
All right, now for part 2, asking with faith. So if intelligence is the strategy, then faith is the belief behind your ask. This is the emotional, the psychological engine that gives your request real power and conviction. And there's a really beautiful phrase for this. Believe like a child. What does that even mean? It means having this pure, unwavering belief that a good outcome is actually possible. It's about asking without all the cynicism, all the doubt, and all the fear of rejection that we tend to pick up as adults. You ask with a genuine expectation that you're going to receive it. So you see how they work together? Intelligence gives your ask direction, and faith gives it momentum. Now let's bring it all back to you, because it's your turn. The ocean is waiting.
The message is really simple,
but it can be totally transformative. The opportunities out there really are as endless as an ocean. The only thing that's holding you back is the tool you're using. It's time to stop being a good worker with a teaspoon and start becoming a good asker with a bucket.
And that leaves us with one last pretty powerful question to think about. You are standing at the edge of that massive ocean of success. Take a look down. What's in your hand?